Welcome to the Landlady, a Metro Woman web series powered by Revolution Plus. Now, today on the show, I'm here with Omaedo Osamor, and she's a lawyer and a partner with Revolution Plus. She's also a member of the advisory board, of the Revolution Plus advisory board. Yes. How are you, Oma? Good to have you.
I'm doing very well, thank you. And you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for coming today. Now, we're going to delve into titles because I know that in acquiring property, you know, there's a lot of confusion sometimes around titling. How do you know the right titles? What do you look out for when someone approaches you or when you want to buy a piece of real estate? So just take us through the different titles so, you know, we get clear on what exactly is going on.
So first of all, when you're going to purchase real estate, it is very important that you get property that has good title. Now, there are several kinds of titles that can be perfect. We have the certificate of occupancy, which is popularly known as your C of O. We have gazetted properties. We have excision, which eventually becomes gazetted. We have registered survey. We have deed of assignment and contract of sale. Now, a contract of sale is more or less just like a receipt. But there are a couple of these that you need to have vis-a-vis just to be ensured that, to be sure that you have the proper titles. A C of O is a good title. A gazetted property is a good title. A property that has excision, you have to be sure that the excision is complete and the land you're purchasing falls within the excision area.
So could you get clearer on the excision bits?
Okay.
You know, like just like break it down so that we understand.
Yes. So I keep getting this question often, like what is excision? And you know, excision is just basically when a community or a group of people, a family, come together and apply to the government for title on the land that they've had acts of long ownership on. Because the government recognizes acts of long ownership, like your father, your grandfather, your forefathers have been living on that particular property for a number of years. Yes, the government recognizes that, oh, this family actually owns this parcel. So when they want to apply for title, what they do is that they come together and then they apply to the government and like, excise this portion for us. This is our land. Now they may ask for like about 100 hectares. Let's just give an example. They may be asking for about 100 hectares as their property. What the government is going to do is going to look into that portion of land that they have requested for, and be sure that none of it falls within a government approved area. Maybe placed as an area where has been demarcated for governmental projects, like maybe hospitals or roads or infrastructure or green area. Once they can identify those parts of the land that has been earmarked for those projects for the government, they take them out and then give them the rest of it. So when you apply for about 100 hectares, you may just get 80 hectares back. Yes. So when they give you that title, it's now yours. It's a freehold. Then that gazetted title is now, the excise title is now gazetted. Gazetting just means putting your excision, your final excision in the government gazette, showing that so family or so community owns this parcel of land now.
Okay, then for the C of O, the certificate of occupancy, there was something very instructive you were saying before we came on. And you said the certificate of occupancy is for 99 years.
Yes.
So anytime you're buying property.
Yes. So for a certificate of occupancy, it's actually a lease. It's a leasehold.
From the
while
government.
A gazetted property is a freehold. So on a certificate of occupancy, you have only 99 years. So if I were going to advise any woman that is buying land, one of the first things you need to find out, go to the land registry and be sure that the remaining number of years on your lease is at least more than 25 years. Because it will not make sense for you to just say, oh, it's a C of O property, it has a good title, and then you have barely 25 years to go.
To go on the property.
Yes, as soon as it is expired, it reverts back to the government, and then you have to reapply for the land. Yes, but when you are buying a certificate of occupancy that has like 70, 80, 90 something years,
makes more sense.
You know that yes, you outlive it, your children will outlive it, it makes more sense. Yes.
So when you, for example, approach me as a realtor and you say, I have this piece of property and I want you to buy it. What are the things that I have to look out for? What's the due process that I should take to make sure that what I'm buying from you has proper title and I'm going to get value for my money?
Okay, first of all, you have to be certain that, you know, all these titles I have listed, that it falls under one of them. It will be advisable that if the land has a survey, it is a registered survey. And it is very easy to find out if your survey is actually registered with the Lagos State government or with the government in general. You go to the land registry and do a search.
Okay.
If it is registered, it will show that that portion of land is actually registered in the name of the person that appears on the survey document. Then you're safe and you're free to go.
Okay.
Yes. If it is an excised property, we need to be certain that the excision is complete and that land is not for any governmental project, and it is, if it has not been gazetted, it is already in line to be gazetted. Then if it has a C of O is king, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But it's not, does not mean, if you have a C of O, it does not necessarily mean that you are free from all encumbrances. When you have a C of O, be sure that there is no encumbrance on the land.
Can you explain what encumbrance is?
Okay, let me speak in the layman's terms. Like for instance, a property that has a C of O may be mortgaged in the bank. The person could have taken a loan on that property.
And still sell it to you.
Yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, anything can happen. When I'm buying property from you, what you give me, first of all, to go and do my search is the photocopy. You won't give me the original.
Yeah.
So I can have the photocopy and then the original is in the bank. So you have to be sure that there's no mortgage on it. If there's a proper mortgage on it, it will be registered in the Lagos State Land Registry. So you need to check, or any land registry at all. You need to check in the land registry to be sure that there's no mortgage on it. And when you are sure that it is free of all encumbrance, find out how many what's the number of years you have left
on the property.
on the lease. Yes, because originally it's supposed to be 99 years, but whoever is selling it has already used some of it. So what the person is selling to you is the unexpired residue of the lease. Yes, it's very important. So you know how much value you are really getting. Because if you're paying money that's supposed to be for 99 years for a land that's just giving you 25 years, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah, okay. Because after 25 years, it will go back to the government. Yes.
So what else when I'm done with that?
Yes.
What's the next thing?
Well, when you're done with that, you already have...
and I'm sure that the land is in the clear.
Yes, if you're sure that the land is in the clear, you can go ahead with the transaction. Just ensure that a deed of assignment is prepared between you and whoever is selling to you, and that it is properly executed. Also,
when you say properly executed,
it means properly signed by the parties that own the property. So if I'm selling to you, it has to be my signature as the seller, and then your signature as the buyer, and then my legally recognized name as the seller, and then your legally recognized name as the buyer, or else there will be no transaction. It will be null and void and of no effect. I'm sorry, it's hard
and
to
all your money would have gone down the drain.
Exactly.
So all of that brings us to the advantages of buying property from an already established real estate company like Revolutionplus.
Yes.
So could you give us more information on the advantages?
Okay. So with Revolutionplus, you put your money in there and you can go home to sleep. First of all, the owners of the business are not just in business to make profit. They are in business because they have a mission, they have a vision, and they have a passion to provide affordable housing for the populace. We're not targeting just high income earners, we're targeting mid-income earners and low-income earners too. Besides this, when it comes to titling, we want to be able to sell property and be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
You know, so we've gone an extra length to ensure that our properties have proper titles. And then when you do a transaction with us, we go ahead, by the time you've paid for your survey fees and all, to ensure that you have a proper registered survey with the government. Besides all this, the estates, all our properties are within gated estates. So when you buy this land, your survey document is showing a plot and a block number within this gated estate. And your name tag and your plot and block number will be inserted with your beacons on your plot. So nobody is going to walk to your plot to take your land from you, and nobody can mistake their land for yours because your name is there and there are borders showing a difference between my neighbor's land and my property. Yes. So if you buy with Revolution Plus, you can go home to sleep.
What's your personal experience of doing business with Revolution Plus?
Okay, so before I joined the Revolution Plus...
I know you're on the board, but
yes.
just tell us independently.
Okay,
yeah.
So before I joined Revolution Plus, I actually started the Realtors business like about 4 years ago, and I had the opportunity of buying land from another company. You know, being a lawyer, the major thing I was looking out for was that it had a good title. There are several other things you need to look out for besides a good title. What's the reputation of the owners of your business?
Yeah.
And I almost got my fingers burnt because I did a transaction. There was a good title, quite all right. But the people I bought land from were not dedicated to fulfilling their promises on this estate. 2 years running, the estate still looks like a bush. There's no border separating it. And then on the way to go check this land someday, I stumbled on a Revolutionplus Property. To be honest, I just stumbled on it. And I was like, who is this? Who owns this estate that already has their fence up, they're already working on their drainage? And I took a number from the billboard. That was how I started with Revolution Plus. I called the number and I started doing business with them. I had a client who wanted to buy land then. And we finished the transaction. Everything was seamless. All the titles were given to me. I was so impressed. Only for me to find out like 2 months down the line that the number I had been talking to and dealing with was actually the MD of the company. So that's another thing that gives me peace of mind because the owners of the business are really accessible. You know, you come to their office, you meet them, they don't run away from issues. You know, this world is full of issues, you know, but there's a difference between tackling them and evading them. They don't evade problems. So they always look for a way to settle it. So that's my personal experience. And then before I went ahead and continued, I made sure I bought mine. All the entire members of my family bought theirs, you know. So I could confidently tell any client who wanted to buy land. And I'm like, I bought land in this estate. Sometimes some of the estates they want to buy into, one of my family members may have property there. And I'll take them to my brother or my sister's place. I'm like, oh, this is my family member's land, you know. So it's been a really good experience. And that was how come, being a lawyer, I got on the advisory board because I always had something good to tell them, I would, like advice. And the good thing is that they take your advice. They do take your advice. Once it's going to work in favor of the business, they will take your advice.
Fantastic. So someone is listening out there and saying, land in Lagos with all of the issues. What's your advice to that person in taking the first steps to getting property, especially to women? Because this is the landlady and we're saying women, you need to start buying properties.
Yes,
don't wait for the men. It's a great way to start, you know, your financial investments for the future.
So my advice to them is, first of all, your lawyer is your friend. Yes, because a lot of people like to do things by themselves, and then when they get into trouble, they start looking for how to solve problems.
Yeah.
Get a lawyer who can help you do a thorough search and be sure that the titling of the documents that come with the property is actually a good title. Then it will make you feel safer if you're buying within a gated estate. And then you also speak around, do your research on the reputation of the company you're going into. That would give you some peace of mind. So I would advise that you can do it. Just do it. Do it afraid. Just start. Just do it. It's always great to have your own property.
It's great.
Yes.
It's great.
It's a good one.
Fantastic. So we'll be right back. After the break, don't go away. Thank you for watching and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.